If everybody will get seated, we will get this February council meeting out of the way. Okay, we have enough here, so I'll call this meeting to order. Councilor Duncan, you want to do the blessing?
Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you and we just thank you for this day. We thank you for all the many blessings, Lord, that you give us. It's too many to count, Lord, and we just appreciate you. Lord, I ask that you would watch over us as we do the business of the Cherokee Nation, Cherokee people. We ask, Lord, that you would just lead and guide and direct our decision-making. Lord, I pray for all those affected by the storm and COVID. Just be with them. Give them guidance and protection that only you can give. And, Lord, just keep us safe. And we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Counselor. Roll call, Shelley.
Yes, sir. Keith Austin. Here. Harley Buzzard. Joe Bird.
Ani.
Julia Coates. Sean Crittenden.
Here.
Joe Deere.
Honey.
Mike Dobbins. Here. Kanan Duncan. Rex Jordan. Daryl Legg. Wes Snowfire. Dora Petzkowski. Mike Shambaugh. Mary Bakershaw. E.O. Smith. Janice Taylor. Victoria Vasquez.
Okay.
You need to do your...
Okay. This announcement is pertaining to Legislative Act 04-20. And this allows councilors to remotely attend the council meeting during extraordinary circumstances beyond the control of the tribal council. The current event of extraordinary circumstances is the pandemic of COVID-19. I need a motion to allow the remote attendance. Got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. Now, I'll entertain approval of the minutes. Got a motion? Yes, Councilor Austin.
On the resolution supporting Deb Halen, it states that I moved to amend the state she has been nominated, which is true, but I also went on to say, and that we support her confirmation.
Yes.
And that wording's not in here. I just want to make sure it is.
Is that noted, Shelley? Okay, that's noted, Councilor Austin. Thank you for that.
I think her confirmation hearing is literally coming up.
I think it's coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we did good. We got ahead of the game. So this time I entertain a motion to approve with the correction there. Got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Stay the nation. Chief Hoskins, Jr.
Mr. Speaker, members of the council, a pleasure to be with you today. I appreciate the work that you done today, and I appreciate the work that you all did last week, and that's where I'd like to start my remarks on this monthly State of the Nation address. Last week, our nation was gripped by a storm, the likes of which we have not seen for some time, and with an energy crisis that impacted our people as well. And as we've seen throughout the COVID pandemic, members of this council were out helping their communities, and I'm also proud of the staff of the Cherokee Nation, whether it was taking space heaters out to elders, whether it was bringing pallets of water to communities, whether it was fielding phone calls and really trying to get behind you all and help you as best we could. I think as a team, we did a great deal of good. There's more work to do. As the storm has receded, we start to see some of the damage that has been left behind. And for many of our citizens, it is plumbing damage. It is frozen pipes that have busted, and it's left a number of your constituents in a very difficult situation. We will share more details about this program within the next day or so, but because of funds that the Council of the Cherokee Nation has already made available for the Cherokee people, we are going to dedicate, Mr. Speaker, $4 million through a program that can help address these plumbing problems. And we're not going to get bogged down in a great deal of paperwork. We're going to help Cherokees in need. There will be an online form, which is primarily the way we can address this, and you've seen similar forms in the past. And we think that we can as efficiently as you can in this environment where, getting a plumber is a challenge to do because they're all very busy. We think we can address the needs of a great many of the citizens across the Cherokee Nation. And so we'll share more details about that. We would not have been able to do any of this without the foresight of the council appropriating funds even before you knew this kind of crisis would befall us. And I think it reflects some prudent decision-making by this council and administration working together to make sure we're in a position to do this. So those funds will be available. We will get more detailed information, Mr. Speaker, out to the council about how your constituents can sign up for these funds, because we know that for so many of these Cherokees, they're not going to be able to hire a plumber to do this work, which means they'll be without water, which means other things that go along with that kind of problem will befall them, and we want to do everything we can to prevent that. So more details to come, but I did want to share with you that our response to this storm is really just beginning. We rolled out in the last month our Respond, Recover, and Rebuild website. Your constituents and all of you can go to that site, respondrecoverrebuild.com, and take a look at how we spent collectively the federal dollars under the Coronavirus Relief Fund. And I think we did a great deal of good with your help addressing a lot of needs in a very compressed period of time. One thing that's important to remember, Mr. Speaker, is we're on a deadline to spend this money by the end of the year, and then suddenly 3 days before the end of the year, the Congress of the United States decides to extend the deadline, which is good, but I think it's not great policy making by the government of the United States. But the tribes in this country, I think, did better than any governments in this country, utilizing those dollars to protect and provide for their citizens, and I think Cherokee Nation is among the leaders on that. We also had some wonderful moments in the past few weeks when elders moved into the new efficiency homes in Hulbert. These are low-income units. These, I think, Mr. Speaker, are the way we can do things in the future. I would like to see, and I know the council would as well, more of these across the reservation. So if you have an opportunity to see the homes that we put in Hulbert, where people have just started to move in, or just up the road next to the Durbin Feeling Language Center, where Cherokee speakers who want to live there will be able to move in and live in a real speaking community right next to the Durbin Feeling Language Center. That, I think, is a good way for us to go in housing in the future, and I hope we can see more of that, and working with you, I am sure that we will. Mr. Speaker, one of the big items of the day was a decision by the Supreme Court of the Cherokee Nation. What I would encourage, and I know every member of the council probably has already done this or will do it soon, but I would encourage every Cherokee citizen to read the decision of the Supreme Court of the Cherokee Nation. I think it's incumbent upon me as chief to share my views from time to time on this subject. I think you read this decision, Mr. Speaker, you get a sense of fulfilling a promise that our ancestors made 155 years ago in the Treaty of 1866. I think a great nation ought to be a nation of its word. And I think the decision today reflects that we are a nation that keeps its word. Mr. Speaker, thank you again for your time. I appreciate the work of the council. Woodell.
Thank you for the update, Chief.
I had a comment to his update.
Okay.
Upholding the promise is upholding our Constitution. And my CDIB card lists me as 3164th degree Indian blood of the Cherokee Nation. That's 3164th by blood, and I think we're all in this room because we are by blood. It is written in the Constitution as a qualification to hold office, much like the president must be a natural-born citizen. It is the supreme law of the land written by the Cherokees who faced all sorts of adversities to protect the entire Cherokee people. And the chief just struck that out of their hands and slapped it out of their mouth. It is not his position, it's not the court of the Supreme Court, nor it is the council's authority to just rip words from our Constitution. What does it mean to be Cherokee anymore? I can tell you what I've seen by the abuse of power that I've seen, and it's tyranny. It's been robbed from our Cherokees of what it means to be Cherokee-blooded Indian. And I think it's a shame for the behavior, the actions that I've seen. And I stand by my people whenever I say that it's committed a crime against Cherokee Nation for breaking the Constitution. And now this council stands to pass a 140% pay raise to the justices who helped the chief in his actions. Democracy cannot exist when people are no longer protected from its leader. This is a constitution that we must all uphold. It was in our oath of office. It was in the principal chief's oath of office. It was in the deputy chief's. It was in the Supreme Court justices' their oath of office, to uphold, protect, and defend our Constitution in its entirety. And that's just the comment I'd like to say today, and I appreciate you giving me the time, Speaker.
Okay,
Mr.
Point well
Speaker,
taken.
since my name was invoked by
Okay.
the gentleman speaking on an order that I didn't see on the agenda, let me suggest that the councilman, I perhaps overestimated whether he had actually read the decision, because his rendition of the facts are so far removed from reality that it's difficult to know where to begin, not the least of which is that the court decision was made not on my action, but on the action of the Attorney General. I would encourage the gentleman to actually read the decision. It might be enlightening. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I've read the decision. I
Hey,
understand
hey,
that it is
Counsel.
your office
Counsel
that
No
did
Fire.
that.
Counsel No Fire.
Well, he just mentioned my name as a counselor.
Yeah, but you mentioned it first. We're not going
It
to get in.
doesn't matter.
Yes,
It's
it
just the
does.
fact that he's
We are
coming
not
here
going
and
to
he
get into
waves his-
debate here.
everyone around
We
in our
have an
council office that can
we
say
have
whatever
an
he
agenda
wants.
to
And
follow.
we'll jump on the agenda.
Well,
But I just want to
no,
say,
no.
if he's want to say my name, I can say his name back.
Well, you initiated it. We're going to go with the agenda. I gave you some leeway there.
And I do appreciate it, Speaker, that you gave me some leeway.
You're welcome. Now I'm reeling you back in. All right, here we go. Action of unfinished business report. Chuck Garrett, are you here? Chuck Garrett.
Sir, Speaker, I don't know, hopefully you can hear me.
We can
And-
see you now.
Okay, super. Well, good to be with you this evening, and thank you for the opportunity to provide a report on behalf of CMB. As you all know, last week, and as Chief Hoskin mentioned, we were confronted with less than usual winter weather, and this really resulted in a rare strain on our energy infrastructure across Cherokee Nation. We were contacted by several energy providers about the possibility of rolling blackouts and the threat of the loss of heat and light to our homes. We recognize that we're a major power user, using significant amounts of energy. And we decided as a result to close our business offices and 10 casinos in order to assist in the conservation effort. Most of our facilities were closed from Monday, February 15th at around 5 to Friday at approximately 1 o'clock. The Roland Casino reopened on Saturday, and the Grove Casino reopened today. It was one of those opportunities that we had to help our communities in a time of need. We certainly didn't want that burden to be fall on our employees, so we made certain that all of the employees that were scheduled to work during the time we were closed were paid for those hours that they would have otherwise worked. So we feel like that was the right thing to do, and we're proud of those actions. Both of our business units have had very strong financial performances in January. Our gaming continues to gain strength every month in FY21. Additionally, on the 4th of February, the Arkansas Supreme Court unanimously ruled in CMB's favor on a very significant procedural matter. That decision now clears the way for further court action on the long-running controversy over the constitutionality of the state statute and the Arkansas Racing Commission's rule that the required county endorsement must come from the elected county officials currently in office. So stay tuned on that, more to come. Our federal contracting business has also shown significant year-over-year growth through January. Most recently, we've been playing a pivotal role in a project supporting the U.S. Department of State's effort against human trafficking. We have 18 employees that have been central to the work of the world's most comprehensive resource of international efforts against human trafficking, something I think we can all be very proud of. Speaking of being proud of things, we were really touched by the nation's celebration of our healthcare workers last week, the folks that have been on the front lines fighting COVID for nearly a year. CMB's board of directors and the management team are joining those efforts. We had scheduled to provide lunches to the various clinics and offices, healthcare offices, last week. Of course, the weather got in the way of that. We're rescheduled, and we will be starting tomorrow providing lunches for the healthcare workers in an expression of our appreciation for the work that they have done. Related to healthcare, all of our CMB employees are now eligible to schedule an appointment to receive their COVID-19 vaccine. So we're really proud of the many employees who are stepping up to do the right thing, to come get vaccinated, and we're really grateful to the nation for that opportunity as well. Our Cherokee Nation Film Office announced a partnership with the largest film festival in Oklahoma, the Dead Center, through a new partnership that we're having. Indigenous filmmakers will be recognized through the through the festival's inaugural award of Best Indigenous Short Film. The award is recognized with a $1,000 cash prize provided through the generosity of Cherokee Nation. The winner will be announced during the 21st Annual Dead Center Film Festival award ceremony this summer. Lastly, our cultural tourism team continues to promote Cherokee history and culture, Cherokee Nation museums, but have also begun offering an impressive lineup of virtual 3D tours, activities, and other showcases so that guests can experience Cherokee culture and history in the safety of their own homes. The virtual lineup includes 3D tours of Cherokee Nation museums, artist highlights, history segments, short language lessons, and much more. Guests can view the online presentations at visitcherokenation.com, as well as on Facebook and YouTube. Speaker, that concludes my report. Happy to try and answer any questions that you or other counselors may have.
Any questions for our CEO? Councilor Shambaugh.
How you doing, sir?
I'm well, thank you, Counselor.
It's not a question, it's a comment. Appreciate your battle that you guys have waged in Arkansas and girls. It's been a tough fight. You know, there is a lot at stake for us, and we appreciate what you're doing to protect our interests. I think it's very important to continue that fight, and it's good to hear some good news. It's you know, it's kind of been back and forth, but it's good to hear good news. And it's also good that we again take the lead as a nation, and we cut our power back. We close our casinos, so you know that helps with our general public, and maybe that will ensure that they have power. That's a good conscientious move. You guys are doing some good things.
I greatly appreciate the comments, and thank you for your support in our fight in Arkansas. We think it's the right thing to do for all of our interest.
Yes, Councilor Critton, do you have a question?
Yeah, just a comment. Just get a lot of calls from the casino West Siloam and C&I, of course, and just appreciate your call on how you handle that for our employees. Let them stay safe and paid them. And that kind of makes our job easier when you're willing to, you know, consider all of that stuff, and sure appreciate it.
Okay, anybody else?
Thank you for that comment.
I was going to ask, now that Supreme Court in Arkansas, where does it go from here?
Well, the Supreme Court remanded it back to a trial court. So essentially, the trial court will address the central issue of whether or not the Arkansas Racing Commission's rule and the legislature's law was constitutional. And so it will go back to the trial court, we'll have a hearing there, and then whoever comes up short will probably appeal back to back to the Arkansas State Supreme Court, where we are 4-0, by the way. Not counting, but good court for us, and I think that they have, really been quite just in their decisions.
It puts us back on the right track. Second, how are we doing with our vaccinations with our employees? I know you mentioned that a little bit. What percentage have we vaccinated there at CMB?
Well, to date, it's still a pretty small percentage, and I don't have that, but it is less than about 10%. Okay. That's just a function of time, though. In terms of our employees responding, we've been very pleased, and we're giving some time off for them to go and get the vaccine. And so depending on where they are and where the clinic is that they're going to. So we're having a good response, though, and we're certainly trying to encourage everybody to do that so that we can get back.
Okay. And last, what are our plans for a restaurant of Cherokees?
Well, I know that's a very near and dear subject to you and to many of us, actually. And, our operators for quite some time have decided to retire and move out of state. So we want to take this opportunity to do the work necessary on the physical presence and the physical restaurant, but also to make sure we recruit an operator that provides the type of home style cooking and also the ambiance and just environment that we've all enjoyed for many decades now. So those are the general plans. Hopefully we'll have some more specifics to share with you soon.
It was closed in '95 when I ran for office, and that was one of the things that, I promised the people that we would do. Our convenience store was closed and our restaurant was closed. We didn't really have any business up and running. So we campaigned on that, and we opened them up. Mike Watkins was our vice president at that time. So within 6 months, we had the restaurant open and had the convenience store open. A lot of our Cherokee people, that's just the place that they know is theirs. One, they see the sign up there, Restaurant of the Cherokees. Place to hang out, place to eat home-cooked meal, and good place to fellowship. So I just hope we find somebody that may lease it back from us. My kudos to the lady Angie and her family for 23 years.
Yeah, they did a super job.
They really
and
did.
Of course, this was tough, through COVID. I mean, that took that just wore everybody out. But yeah, let's not forget the fried fish on Fridays. So yeah, we will need to find a good, capable operator to fill their shoes.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for that good report. Anybody else before we let him go? Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate you.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
No old business, and to new business. Number one, Councilor Duncan, would you take that?
Yes, this is a resolution confirming the reappointment of Betty Frog as an advisory member of the Cherokee National Treasures Program. I put that in the form of a motion.
Got a motion and second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed. Councilor Peskowski, would you take number two?
A resolution confirming the reappointment of Eddie Morrison, an advisory committee member of Cherokee Nation National Treasurers Program. And I put that in the form of a motion.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Councilor Vasquez, would you take number three?
This is a resolution confirming the reappointment of Jane Ostee, an advisory committee member of Cherokee Nation National Treasures Program. I move for its approval.
Motion and a second. No discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed. Councilor Legg, would you take number four?
This is a resolution confirming the nomination of board member of Cherokee Nation Sequoia High School Board of Education. I put that in the form of a motion.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Counselor E.O. Smith, number 5.
Establishing the Cherokee Nation Park Wildlands Fishing and Hunting Reserve Act of 2021. I put this in form of a motion.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Counselor Shambaugh, you take number 6.
This is an act amending Title 21 of the Cherokee Nation Code annotated and declaring an emergency, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Okay, Counselor Deere, you want to take the next one?
This is an act amending Title 22 of the Cherokee Nation Code annotated. Put that in form of a motion.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Okay, number 8, Counselor Vasquez, you want to take that?
Yes, this is a resolution authorizing Cherokee Nation Warehouse to donate surplus items to Native American Fellowship, Inc. Move for its approval.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Counselor Buzzard, you want to take number 9?
Plus items to town of Disney. Put that in the form of a motion.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Okay, Counselor No Fire, you want to take number 10?
This is the act authorizing Cherokee Nation Warehouse to donate surplus items to Zoe Institutes. I put that in a form of motion for its approval.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Counselor Taylor, you want to take number 11?
Absolutely. This is an act amending Legislative Act 17-20, authorizing the comprehensive operating budget for fiscal year 2021, Mod 4, declaring an emergency. I put that in the form of a motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, Speaker, I move to divide the act so we can consider separately Part 2, which is the Supreme Court budget modification. I need that second.
Got a motion and a second. Shelley, how we handle this part?
We vote on the division. If it passes,
Then we vote separately on that division.
if it passes by a majority, then
Ba-
Part 2 is voted on
Separately.
than the rest of the mod.
Okay, first we've got to do his motion, correct?
Right.
Okay, this is a motion supporting the division of Supreme Court component there. So all in favor for the separation, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
Still up for discussion, so Speaker, could I have a moment to discuss the
Sure.
budget modification? I like all the budget modification in its entirety, but the Supreme Court budget modification asks for a 140% pay raise on justices who just recently struck part of the Constitution. You know, it's something that actually beforehand I had tried to get the Chief Justice to come down and argue why they're asking for a 140% pay raise. They didn't come down to do such. They showed up to strike the Constitution, but they still won't show up to determine why they want a 140% pay raise. So for that reason, I'm going to vote no. It's unfortunate that I have to vote no on the entire budget modification, but I have to in order to be able to vote no on the justice's 140% pay raise.
Sure. Okay, anybody else? Yeah, Counselor Dobbins.
Just need to be on record, Shelley, that I abstain.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, now we vote on this, the budget mod, right? Okay. Okay, this is for entirety. Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. Got one, then abstain. Got-
I got, Dobbins and Buzzard abstaining.
Mhm.
Fire is a no.
Mhm.
And Counselor Coates, are you abstaining or no?
No.
No, okay. Got it.
Okay. We got it?
Got it.
All right. Okay, any announcements to my right? Yes, Counselor Vasquez.
Yes, I would like to ask for a moment of silence for recognizing the death of my cousin, John Wilson, from OK, Oklahoma Community, and also the father of Roy Boney, passed away recently. And just ask us all to remember them in our prayers. Thank you.
Yes, Counselor
I have
Taylor.
a couple I'd like to add. Pauline Mishontubby and also Bill Wycliffe, who was a first language speaker and father of former tribal counselor Stephanie Wycliffe, passed away.
Okay, anybody else over here? All right. Anybody on my left? Yes, Counselor Austin.
Yes, I'd like to recognize at his passing Cherokee National Warrior John Still from Claremore, and just a wonderful lady, Betty Mace, who passed away from Chelsea in the last month.
Counselor Duncan.
Rick Fields also passed away.
Yeah. You know, I went to Roy Boney Senior Services, and it was one thing that I was really disappointed in is that he was a veteran, and they asked for the honor guard to be there, and we didn't have any honor guard people there. So we all, as council members, we need to recruit. Surely we have veterans in our districts that would somehow we could convince in being part of the honor guard. That's a big deal. And the family not to have that memorial like that was kind of sad on my part. So we need to do a better job in recruiting our honor guard. Yes. Yes, Councilor Coates.
Yes, may I add two people who have been lost in the Houston Cherokee community, Denise Lawrence and Brian Corey. Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Dobbins?
No, on your comment about a color guard and honor guard, we need to make them part of the budget process because they kind of come and go because they don't even get gas money to go to places. So
I agree.
we really need to fund the honor guard / color guard.
Okay.
So
Yes, Councilor Deere.
Yeah, I just want to add, Speaker, our friend, Mr. Gums, lost his mother, his older brother, and his younger brother to COVID recently, all in the last 2 months.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes, Councilor No Fire.
Yeah, I had a friend of ours, we were actually out there passing out water and seen him, and he said he was having a heart problem, and he went in for a heart, and he actually went back, came out of the hospital for a day, seen him for a day, and that's Mike Christie. He passed away, family friend, the whole family is a good friend of ours, and so he's greatly missed.
Okay. Anybody else? We've had a lot. Been a tough year. Yes, Councilor Duncan.
Speaker, I was just going to mention Rick Fields earlier. If anybody didn't know, he was a former director over at the Heritage Center.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, let's go to a moment of silence here. Okay. This time I need a motion to adjourn.